Hello, everybody. I'm Zeus Caraval from ZK Research and eWEEK, and I'm here for another one of our eSpeaks episodes. And for those of you who are new to eSpeaks, this is our thought leadership series where I interview some interesting people from some innovative companies, and we just have a casual conversation about what they're doing. Today's eSpeak guest is Michael Wu. You're the GM of Phison. So, Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who Phison is and what you guys do?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael. Very nice to meet all you guys. So Phison is a company that we are focused on making the NAND total solution. We make from start to end, from controller all the way to products. Something that people may not be aware of is we also make all the IP that goes into the controller. The market that we touches are all the way from your USB drive, SD card, your cell phone storage, laptop storage, and we are also making solution for the enterprise SSD now. I've been with Phison for 13 years, and we're very fortunate here to be able to help the company creating a marketing team here and the system advanced technology team here, biz staff here to support the local customer. And last year, Q4, we also established an enterprise validation presence in Colorado. So it's a very exciting time for us.
Now, there's lots of vendors in this space. What's unique about Phison?
Yeah, Phison has a very unique business model. So we have made the storage IPs that all the IP that go into our controller chip. We support controller chip to the NAND makers. We also make products. So typically, you're talking about 3 different separate companies that would do those things, but as a company, we cover all 3 areas. And the finished product portion is where we take the controller and we buy NAND from manufacturer. We have the world-class manufacturer, and we put it together into a validated, mass-produced products, but behind our partner's brand, right? So you can't buy an off-the-shelf product that has Phison brand on it. We are all behind our partner's brand.
All right, and who are your, and you don't have to name them if you don't want to, but who are your big partners? What types of companies are those?
If you go to a retail store, if you take all the NAND maker solution, besides that, we cover probably 75 to 80% of the retail branded. At this point in time, there's no point of actually design your own controller, firmware, PCB. So we work with them to provide them with a start to finish solution where they can focus on their marketing, they can focus on the special housings or colors or features that we can help customize for them.
All right. Now, in the SSD space, I guess there's certainly been a race for speed, right? I guess just in drives in general, just because of how much data is being generated. And I believe you guys are best in class, correct? Like pound yourself in the chest a little bit. You are the market leader, I think, as far as speed goes, correct?
Right. You probably heard about Gen 4 SSD. That was the fastest standard today. A lot of talk about Gen 5, but on the Gen 4 SSD, where 2019 AMD had their first Gen 4 SSD, we were the first one that offered the products out to the market on that time. And we've been the only Gen 4 SSD for about 18 months before our competitor started to offer the Gen 4 SSD. So that was very neat for us.
And an 18-month lead in this industry is unheard of, as far as I know. I don't think there's ever been a vendor with that big a lead before, correct?
No, and I can tell you the reason why. So from a controller concept to the finished products, there are a lot of things that needs to happen, right? The controller, the firmware, the IPs, you got to put it into a PCB, integrate it, test it. The reason why we were able to have that lead is because we make all our IPs that goes inside the controller, and that makes the controller to the finished product. We did it in 9 months, where typically a typical design cycle is about 2 years. So we were able to shrink it down to about 9 months.
Wow. And are you expecting that kind of lead again in the when Gen 5 comes?
Um, we hope so, but I don't think we'll have that lead. I think people are thinking and ready for Gen 5. But we do believe that we will have at least that's what we're targeting. We do believe that we will have the first Gen 5. And first with some consumer market, and later on, definitely the enterprise market is really looking for Gen 5 as well.
All right. And then I was looking on your website, noticed auto is a big industry for you, but that's not the only one, correct? What are the big industries that are really driving your business today?
Yeah, good question. So we have in the past first 10 years, we have been really focused on consumer, right? And starting from 2010, we started going to industrial embedded. In the last 3 years, we have transformed ourselves into very specialized markets. So the top three are gaming, automotive, and enterprise. So these are the key market that we are putting the most R&D in, where we spend about 230 million per year on R&D to develop all the controllers, technology, IPs, products for those markets.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you can do gaming, that's a pretty demanding vertical. It seems like you can do almost anyone. In the enterprise segment, are there specific aspects of enterprise, edge computing, private cloud, and areas that you're especially good in?
Oh yeah. So we have several target markets. We have the re-intensive market where the drive needs to be big, it needs to cheap. It doesn't have that need to have that a lot of the crazy feature that a high-end enterprise has. We also going after the write intensive market where there's a lot of data transaction. This performance has to be good. The DPPMs, the quality of service has to be good. And there is a market that's called edge computing, where the purpose is to create some unique and robust solution to either it's a boot drive or it's a subsystem drive that allows the system to operate in an efficient way. So we have solutions that cover all three.
Yeah, edge computing is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. There's not a tech conference that I've attended in the last year and a half where edge computing wasn't the main focal point, right? So that's certainly a market that's on the rise. And one of the unique aspects of it is, businesses are building out edges so they can bring the data closer to the user, but they want that data to be fast, right? So I'm sure you're seeing the same trends in the area of AI and things like that as being drivers.
Yeah. And since you mentioned about AI, a lot of people may not realize there are a lot of AI that happen within the drives, right? The controller nodes are very smart, right? We have there's a standard way to treat the data, certain file sizes, but for different application, you mentioned about gaming, that's an excellent example, right? We had to do a complete overhaul of our firmware just to fit or optimize for the gaming 4K video kind of transfer size, and that actually helped to transform the transition from HDD to SSD, as you see on the words of the two top console player this year, and that couldn't happen without having some kind of AI and optimization around how controller operate and control the data.
Yeah, I don't think many people realize the sophistication that goes into a controller today, just based on the different types of use cases. And you're right, speed's everything. And there's probably no market that's more competitive or in demand than that gaming console market. So I suppose if we can do that, some of the other markets seem easy compared to that.
Well, there's not much place you can go these days, or in the past 18 years. So gaming becomes such a hot industry. And game console, you can't get one right now, right? It's very constrained.
Now, from what I understand, you just recently made an announcement with a security company. So this is kind of an interesting partnership. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this kind of tied to how all this stay-at-home behavior and a lot of activity is rely on IT. Cybersecurity and ransomware protection has become a very, very important topic that impacts, not just the individuals, but local government and healthcare providers. So what we are doing with this Cygen partnership is that they are the expert in creating sensors to detect all this suspicious activity, right? However, the SSD is left unprotected. So what we have done is that we are leveraging the best sensor that they implement on the software side. And on the SSD side, we create a channel for them to actually trigger the SSD to lock certain portion, lock the firmware, lock the certain portion of the drive, make certain partition disappear, so that and actually a lot of people may not realize is that you could have the best security, but you are actually 10 screws away from people just take apart your laptop, take the SSD out, and get the data from there, right? So these are the part that we pay steady attention to, and we have some advanced product that actually detects the movement of SSD and any suspicious activity of the keyword typing behavior and all that, and trickle down to the SSD lockdown.
Wow, so you're actually securing things down at that in the drive at that data layer.
Yes, so you could stop a lot of suspicious attack on the software layer, but once people are able to kind of physically take the drive out, you are left protected. So we are having, by working with Cygen, they have a always on monitoring of those behavior, and at the spot we will lock down the drive.
Well, thanks. That was great. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience before we leave here?
No, I think that NAND flash, people sometimes they think about gigabytes, terabytes, but I think that more and more customization is starting to happen, just as the big company, the FANG of the world, are creating their custom ASIC to optimize the performance. We are here to customize, and we have all the tools in place to do that for our customer. We go from controller all the way to the finished product. So we're happy to work with all the future potential partners and try to address all these future needs.
Yeah, that's interesting because you're following a trend that we've seen in other industries where, right, the FANG vendors, they've customized network and they customize processor now, right? You look, there's a lot of work being done in that space, and now you're customizing the third leg of that stool, I suppose, which is SSD. So that's a pretty interesting trend that I suppose this was bound to happen based on how the rest of the stacks being customized. So
yes.
So Michael Wu from Phison, thanks for joining me. I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Research and eWEEK, and I want to thank you for joining me on this eSpeaks, and to the people watching this, have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for joining us on eWEEK eSpeaks. Go to eWEEK.com to hear more conversations with IT thought leaders.